let's get up to speed first with New Orleans. Right now, at least 15 people are dead and 30 others are injured in the Bourbon Street attack. The FBI says they do not believe the driver acted alone. We have team coverage this morning for you. We begin in New Orleans with NBC's Jay Gray.
Chaos in the French Quarter. This truck darting around a police vehicle, then accelerating into a crowd on Bourbon Street.
It was pandemonium. It was obviously emergency vehicles everywhere. Police were everywhere. Bodies, folks were just running through the streets.
At least 15 killed, dozens injured in what the FBI has labeled a suspected terror attack.
An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle. Weapons and potential improvised explosive devices, IEDs, were located in the subject's vehicle.
The suspect, identified as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas who spent a decade in the Army. After crashing into a roadside crane, Jabbar apparently jumping from the vehicle. And after wounding 2 officers, killed in a shootout with police. Agents now indicating he likely had help carrying out the attack.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
Law enforcement teams searching the suspect's home in Houston and the scene of an overnight fire at a New Orleans Airbnb, where investigators believe some of the explosive devices may have been assembled. 2 additional IEDs located in the French Quarter were rendered safe. The area still locked down as the investigation continues. Jay Gray, NBC News, New Orleans.
And this morning, we're learning more about the people killed in this tragedy. Friends and family have started sharing their stories. So far, NBC News has confirmed at least 7 of the victims who died. Those are Nicole Perez, Karine Badawi, and Matthew Tenedorio. Martin Tiger Besh, a former Princeton football player as well. Nakira Cheyenne Dedeau, a recent high school grad who wanted to be a nurse. Reggie Hunter was a father of 2 young children, and Herbert Gothrow as well. Let's continue our team coverage with NBC 10's Minash Kwangwari. He is live in Boston.
And Minash, we bring you in because local experts are weighing in on what happened.
Well, we know that this is an incident that happened during New Year's Eve celebrations with a large crowd present, a crowd similar to the one that gathered here in downtown Boston for first night that night. Already state police saying there is no known threat or connection to the state of Massachusetts, but they are on high alert, especially with FBI agents now saying this attacker likely didn't act alone. Now, we know that an ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle. Inside the vehicle, weapons and potential improvised explosive devices such as IEDs were found. Joseph Brown, an expert in terrorism and UMass political professor, says the Islamic State has been focused on these type of attacks.
Their best way of keeping their name in the headlines is to encourage self-radicalized individuals to carry out do-it-yourself, low-tech attacks.
This person is sort of the typical suspect we would have, disaffected, going through a personal crisis. Most likely he's been consuming a lot of dogma and propaganda from terrorist groups such as ISIS online.
Now, for right now, Mass State Police are urging people to remain vigilant. And if you see anything suspicious or out of the ordinary, to please contact them. For right now, we're live here in Boston. Minash Kwangwari, NBC 10 Boston.
Thank you, Minash. Meanwhile, the Lyn City Council was actually visiting Bourbon Street Tuesday night. Councilor Fred Hogan left the area safely before the attack happened. He is in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, supporting a football player from Lynn on the University of Georgia's team. Hogan says incidents like these can inform how city leaders prepare for large events in their communities.
This will always help you prevent like this happening in your city, but there's some bad individuals in the world, and this is just a terrible tragedy, and we're just praying for all the families of everyone that got killed and injured.
Officials announced the Sugar Bowl is being postponed to this afternoon in the interest of public safety. Well, investigators are now looking to see if there are any connections between the deadly crash in New Orleans and a Tesla Cybertruck that exploded literally outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas.
We do want to warn you, the video here is intense. Security cameras show the moments after that truck erupted into flames yesterday. 9 people were injured in the explosion. Several law enforcement sources tell NBC News that the driver who died in the blast was a 37-year-old from Colorado Springs, and pictures taken after the fire show the remains of fireworks along with fuel typically used for camp stoves. Investigators say the Cybertruck was rented using an app called Turo. That's the same one used to rent the truck used in the deadly New Orleans attack.
We're able to trace that truck through the Tesla charging stations, and it arrived here in Las Vegas this morning at about 7:30 and went up and down Las Vegas Boulevard before immediately pulling into the Trump Towers.
So several law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, carried out a search warrant at the man's home in Colorado. The action is being taken as authorities look into a possible military connection between him and the driver in New Orleans. Stay with NBC 10 Boston for continuing coverage of the New Year's Day attacks. If you're not by a TV, you can get the latest updates anytime on our website, NBC10boston.com, or, of course, our free news app.